Welcome back to War Thunder. Welcome aboard the Centurion Mark 1 to some realistic tank battle gameplay. And this is a nice battle indeed, but I already made one mistake. I will talk about this in a moment. And I will make at the end of the match another mistake, and both will together cost me dearly. Not just me, but also my team. Now this is kind of a bit of a self-reflection in terms of my playstyle and what I could have done better and what I think in terms of the battle. Now, first of all, let's talk briefly about the Centurion Mark 1. I really like the tank. It's so a refreshing tank to play when you're used to kind of the usual British meta. Now, what is up until this point the meta of the British tanks? Well, yeah, you don't have a reverse gear and you don't have too much armor, except if you drive the Churchills, but then they have no firepower. The Centurion Mark 1 is a 5.7 battle rating tank, and it comes after the Challenger with the same battle rating, but before the FV 4202. And I think it is a better introduction to the Centurion Mark 3 than it is for the FV 4202. So, it is maneuverable, it is decently fast, although the top speed is limited, which hurts it, but again, kind of usual British thing, 35 kilometers an hour, and it does have a reverse gear that just brings you out of situations, and up until this point, this was one of the major criticisms of, you know, British tanks, but it also has a fantastic performing 17-pounder gun. Once it's fully upgraded, let's see why. You have a PDS with a very precision gun. It performs really nicely against sloped angles, and it also can shrapnel quite a little bit to initiate ammunition detonations on the first T-34-85 and also crew knockout on the second one. And yes, I just love to kill T-34-85s. They are my arch nemesis. We will see later on why. Now, the next part is that you actually have armor. But more on this in a moment. Let's just first finish the topic of the gun. You have a 17-pounder, and the first few shells that you have to research are more or less useless. You begin with the Shot Mark 6, 160mm, Shot Mark 4, 165mm, and Shot Mark 8 with 171mm of penetration. The muzzle velocity is exactly the same. The weight is not really different, it's exactly the same. The bouncing chances are the same. Thus, the performance against sloped armor increases a little bit, but not too much. The real game changer is the Shot SV Mark 1, which is an APDS round. And that one, combined with its overall penetration of over 220mm, which is really nice, and the rather high rate of fire for my crew. The rate of fire is, let me just look it up, 6.2 seconds. And that allows you to just simply cripple the enemy tank and then put another round into him before he can replace the crew. And if you have a very good crew and you are on the ace qualification, you can drop the reload to 5.9 seconds. Double that, and you can pump in 3 rounds into the enemy tank with the first shot, counted into that, before he can rotate the crew. So you can do crew sniping. You are a tank surgeon, and that is really nice. Also, you have a lot of ammunition, which is nice, and you have turret armor, as you just could see. This IS-1 could not penetrate my turret front. The turret front has 152mm, but the gun mantle is a bit thinner. The gun mantle has just 127mm. Yes, there is a bit of sloping going on. Yes, there are a little bit of overlays, so you can bounce some fantastic shots. The hull is also not that big. Effective thickness around about 125mm with nearly 60 degrees of angling. The lower plate is a bit weaker with just 44 degrees of angling and 130mm of effective thickness, so that is what kills you. The armor layout or the ammunition layout is rather modern. A lot of shells on the bottom of the tank and this prominent ammo rack right next to the driver. Yeah, the tank performs really nicely, but now you have kind of noticed that I'm sitting around here. Now, initially that was good. Initially that was good, because I just secured the capture zone. But now my team made two mistakes. First of all, the right flank overextended while the left flank totally collapsed, and I saw this T-34-85, and for a split second I could have had a shot at him, but yeah. Now, one thing that the tank really does not like is maneuvering on slopes, but a lot of tanks don't like this. At this battle I did not have any kind of upgrade, but this T-34-85 made a crucial mistake. He drove over kind of a pile of rubble, and yeah, that threw off his aim. He screwed up the shot, and I could put one into him and finish him off before he can even reload. This is the nice performance of the 17-pounder APDS. When I come around the corner, I knew that this Hellcat had trouble, and look at the angle that I penetrate this T-34-85 from the side and killing two of his crew members. And at this moment, that was kind of a bit of a kill stealing, but I could not really have known up until the point that I killed him. At the end of the day, me and the Hellcat are both alive, and the T-34-85 is dead. And this is the important part. But the kill messages go on. We have to secure the city a little bit, or at least the outer parts where the battle takes place. Look around the corner and I see the IS-2 firing an APDS versus 120mm warheads. That's always a nice combination, isn't it? So that was my 7th kill already. No, at this moment I thought to myself, well, that's a good battle. Yeah, just don't screw it up. And then mostly I screw it up. So let's have a look at this. I want to turn around because now the capture zone is getting decapped. I have to turn around. I point the gun always towards the enemy. You can cripple them, and I prioritize now the T-34-57 before he is the more dangerous target. But he gets bombed by a P-47. The AAA vehicle, I tried to machine gun him, but he escaped. Now we have some excellent British air support and a bit of American air support in the form of a P-47 and a Wyvern, and you might think to yourself, that's good enough, right? Although I made a video about it, the Russians really have problems with their AAA. They are not the best in the game, let's put it that way. They don't have the highest rate of fire, they don't have the most ammunition, they don't have the most guns. So in this respect, you don't really want to fight Germans with their Wirbelwinds and Ostwinds and later on Kugelblitz. No, you don't want to fight them. But that ZSU-37 secured me my 8th kill, and then I bounce a heat shell from the PT-76B, which I one-shot in return for my 9th kill. Nice double strike here. Now we actually have recaptured A, which was the reason why I turned around left, which initially saved me. And now I see for a split second this Russian tank destroyer, the Su-85, and I one-shot him by hitting the rear ammo rack and blowing him up. That's a triple strike. I see the ZSU-37 and I blow him up with an ammunition explosion. Multi-strike times 4. that damn reload on British tanks. You rarely can catch up sometimes with your kill streaks. At that point I was really happy. I was thinking to myself, well, I did my job. 11 kills, double A's. But now A gets decaptured again, so again I have to turn around. And this time I didn't swing out the turret around, but thankfully it's just a triple A shooting at me. Another ZSU-37. And what do you do with ZSU-37s? Yes, you one-shot them. 12th kill. Great result right there. I got a bit of engine damage, but I still can limp in the direction of A. And now A is captured. And I get attacked by a Yak-9 of some description. Yak-9T or Yak-9K, I don't know. At the end of the day, those were high explosive shells, so it might be a Yak-9K. Yak-9T pilots mostly have AP loaded, which the Yak 9K can't. And now you can see the engine damage, the ground that I'm driving on. It's not the best combination, but we still managed to limp our way with around about 16-17 kilometers an hour. Nearly 20. Come on. Yes, there is 20. And now I make a mistake. I get into the capture zone. That's not the mistake, by the way. And I think to myself what to do next. And then I make the mistake. I actually look behind me. Now I went out of the capture zone, but that's not the point. It's still decapping. That's the most important part. I actually tunnel vision. I hear another Russian AAA, and I saw another tank. I was not quite sure what it was. It could have been an IS-1. And I think to myself, no capture. I want more kills. No cap, kill them all. And that tunnel vision combined with getting out of the capture zone makes me an easy frag for the T-3485, which should not able to penetrate me there, Gaijin. I looked it up multiple times. Oh well. Yeah, and the second mistake was that I went out of the previous mission with a crew log, and this is why this was the only tank. This is the post-battle results. Of course we lost after having such an advantage. 40,000 silver lines and 2,700 research points for 12 kills, 1 assist, 3,153 score points. Yeah, it's not good enough. Now, I made mistakes, but the rest of my team also kind of was not quite good enough. And there you can see the progress. So, after all, what do I think about the Centurion Mark 1? I like it, but the stock grind is not really nice. The stock accuracy is horrifyingly bad. The performance of the stock shells is bad. The upgrade rate takes a while. The one thing that I have to say, it's good that it is at 5.7, so the modules are not that expensive as, for example, other higher tier rank 4 vehicles. So that's it for me today. That's it for me and this Heartbreaker match, which was partially my responsiveness. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, if you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the battlefields of War Thunder.